I can't say around, but I know it's gonna be. I'm gonna punish him.
Okay, all right. So early?
Why can't we all just?
Yeah.
Suspense is killing me.
From start to finish.
Errol Spence has sent Tim Tszyu a scary message that foretells punishment when he finally steps into the ring for a fight full of pressure, power, and unsettled business.
I didn't feel like shaking his hand because he's one of those guys, like, he talk a lot of shit,
Yeah.
you know, behind the scenes, saying how he's gonna stop me and how he's gonna knock me out and do me like Fundora did Keith Thurman and things like that, and then you want to shake my hand. Like, why would I want to shake your hand? You talking about you gonna retire me, you gonna punish me and beat me? So I like, save it for after the fight. It's fight time, it's time to fight. Like, I'm not looking to be your friend, not trying to shake your hand. We going to war, so let's go to war.
In his analysis of the fight between the two combatants, Sean Porter highlights the significant differences in style that could decide who sets the pace and wins.
You think that you're going to get in the ring with what we could say is maybe a B- fighter now, maybe just a mid-B fighter in Tim Tszyu? You're going to get in the ring with a mid-B fighter and think that you're going to be this A fighter that you've always been? Absolutely not. But at the same time, Errol's talents and his style is not predicated upon what is essential for game time, right? What's essential for game time? Timing. What's essential for game time? Finding rhythm. You know,
Sparring?
You know, those are things that you can find in sparring, but for a fighter that fights off of reflex, a fighter that fights off of this athleticism and talent.
Sean also draws attention to Tim Tszyu's lack of significant amateur experience and the fact that he has had less trainer influences throughout his career, which may provide difficulties when facing a more experienced opponent.
If I'm not mistaken, Tim has more professional experience than he does amateur experience. And when you've only had professional experience with one coach for a substantial amount of time, and most of those times were good times, again, when we're winning, it's masking us from the things that we need to work on, you know what I mean? So that's definitely a big scar for me. Again, when we speak to the game plan and you got Jeff Fennick in your corner, I like the mesh of this is my game plan. It fits who I am, and I got somebody who wants to do, you know, so
Lived and breathed it.
I do like the marriage between Jeff Fennick, Tim Tszyu, who Tim is, his abilities, along with what they have game plan.
Sports analyst Russ Amber, in the meantime, explains that Tim Tszyu is an entirely different fighter, demonstrating how his defeat, world title victory, and comeback formed a long-forgotten tale.
In back-to-back fights, right? They were back-to-back fights. The Fundora fight and the Bakram fight was back-to-back, wasn't it?
Yep.
So, you know, you have the luxury of coming off of a loss for a world title to fight for another world title, which doesn't happen all that often. Daniel Dubois just did it, but it doesn't happen all that often where you come off a loss and get a title shot. But it goes to show that sometimes it doesn't matter if you win or lose, it's how you lose that makes the difference, right? And sometimes how you win that keeps you off of.
Russ Amber also emphasizes Terence Crawford's worth. After fighting Canelo, the once underappreciated fighter demonstrated his greatness. In his opinion, this fight is entirely different from Crawford's eagerly anticipated encounter with Spence.
You know, I think this, and Errol Spence, you know, who was highly regarded going into the Keith Thurman, into the Crawford fight. And now you see what Crawford did, you realize, wow, you know, Crawford's really that good. You know, he's done, maybe we underestimated him because he's really that good. So what he did to Spence might not appear as such a big surprise now. So there's a lot of questions that have to be answered by both camps. And when you have those kind of questions, it makes for interesting fights. And that's what boxing needs to be about, right? It needs to be about interesting fights and see who's going to overcome. And this is a fight where both guys have to overcome in order for their careers to continue on the world stage.
After a protracted absence, Spence has a clear goal and a significant obstacle to overcome. He has stated unequivocally that he will not shake hands with anyone who discusses retiring him. In response, Tim Tszyu criticized Spence's self-assurance, calling it arrogance, and vowed to teach him the lesson he feels the former champion has to learn in the ring.
Of course, we're not supposed to like each other before the fight. You know, that's part of the thing. But yeah, I think he's got a certain arrogance about him, you know. And that could be because he made a shit ton of money and doesn't really need to be doing this and that type of stuff. And he really things down of myself. But that's all right. You know, when we get in the ring, I really just want to hurt him. You know, it's quite simple. That's what boxing's about.
Yeah, it's gonna be telling like how he reacts to like the first punch. Like I think that's like the biggest thing is me observing is like I want to see how he's taking these punches to know like, okay, is it the same Spence or
do I want to be in there or not? That's the question.
Boozy Ennis offers another trainer critique, cautioning Tim Tszyu to accept Spence's authority and cease undervaluing his contributions. He explains how Spence must adjust to Tim's pressure and distinct manner, breaking down his strength. Andis thinks Spence has the means to win handily and demonstrate that he is still a top fighter provided he adopts the proper tactics and maintains his discipline.
What should Spence add in this training camp for Tim Tszyu? He's been out of the ring for a while. What should he be doing?
What Spence should be doing? Spence should be Spence, man. But he must move his head though, because Spence should come right at you and just throw the punches. He got to and work on and catching them shots. You know what I mean? If you ain't gonna move your head, you got to catch some shots. You know what I mean? With your hands. You know.
Decision and stoppage. How's that fight at?
I think it's gonna be a stoppage. Somebody getting stopped. And you know I'm going with Spence, so.
Errol, welcome back. How do you feel actually deciding to finally come back to the ring?
I feel good.
Tim Bradley enters the conversation because he thinks Spence understands just how to deal with Tszyu and that his style won't impress her too much. Additionally, he believes that Tim has already outlived his prime and berates him for not evolving sufficiently. Bradley's lack of confidence is demonstrated by his audacious assertion that Tszyu could struggle so severely that Spence's younger sibling might stop him.
Matter, man. Or Errol Spence, he's one of those fighters that know how to fight. He know how to fight. Errol Spence know what the hell he got to do. Errol Spence is the master of the basics. He know what the hell he got to do. Ain't nothing gonna change. He gonna let them hands go. He gonna take it to Tim Tszyu, you know. And Tim Tszyu is one of those guys, you know, stand right in front of you. He ain't one of them guys that pick up his feet and move. Nah, Tim Tszyu little brother better than him. He better than him. Tim Tszyu brother probably be whooping his ass in sparring. Yeah, he be whooping his ass. I already know he do. Yeah, lefty, he be moving his head side. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I know he be whooping his ass in the gym for real, but they don't be talking about it. But yeah, I think Errol Spence, I think he gonna beat Tim Tszyu. He gonna knock.
Regarding the bout, Tim Bradley believes Spence will defeat Tim Tszyu via knockout. After years of wear and tear, he doesn't think Tszyu will do well because he thinks the Australian boxer is being unreasonable. Bradley contends that Tszyu's game is no longer particularly exceptional and questions whether he can meet Spence's level of difficulty.
I think he gonna beat Tim Tszyu. He gonna knock him out. Tim Tszyu is done. He's 31 and he done. Too much wear and tear. He got his knocked out a couple of times. You know, mentally, he seemed like he's strong mentally, right, and he wanted, but his body is not out. It's not responding. You know, like it should be. You know, a lot of big knockouts and wars for Tim Tszyu, man. He get hit too much. You know, and that's what happens when you get hit too much. Your time, hey, is up real fast. Yeah, your career shortened like a mug. So I got Errol Spence in that fight. But it's good to see Errol back, man. I miss Errol, for real, man. You know, he looking a little bit like Bob Marley.
In their discussion on Spence's comeback, Roy Jones Jr. and Andre Ward emphasize how they both think he still has what it takes to be at the top, which is why this return is so thrilling. They respect his attitude of continually taking chances, embracing difficulties, and avoiding simple confrontations. According to Jones and Ward, Spence's desire to put himself to the test reveals a lot about his character and shows that he still has a lot to do.
Who was on the way up there, who made it to the top, but had some struggles, and now he's on the incline trying to get back up too. So it's two guys trying to get back up. I think it's a great situation. But the biggest thing I gotta say that I love about Errol Spence is that Errol don't want no easy fights. Errol don't want to fight guys that are no fighters.
He AKA somebody. No tune-up.
No,
he don't want no
tune-up. He wants challenges. You understand me? He wants challenges. And for him to challenge a person like Tim Tszyu, when Tim Tszyu has been regularly fighting for the last 3 years, he's been not doing much. That says a lot about Errol, but that tells you exactly how much fight is still left in Errol. Earl is a guy who's always coming to the party to dance. He don't have time to play no games, and you gotta love that about him.
Andre Ward is adamant that Spence is quite capable of bringing retribution into the ring for Tim Tszyu if that is his intention. Ward claims that Spence has always been the boxer that sets the bar and adds energy. Because Spence's weapons must be sharp and every opportunity could turn into a hazardous moment once the fight starts, he feels that Tim cannot afford to make any mistakes.
You know, he's not a guy that talks a lot, but he brings a big stick to the battle. And you know, when you deal with Errol Spence, you got to bring your lunch pail because he's going to bring it and he's nothing to play with. Obviously, being 36 years of age, being off as long as he hasn't had the tune-up fights. And by the way, I need my tune-ups. Give me my tune-ups because boxing is hard. I need my tune-up because I need to sharpen my tools. I want to make another paycheck before I make the big paycheck, but that's just me. I need my tune-ups, but I respect this brother because he's not with the tune-up. And you got to know who you are. If Errol knows that I can't really get up for that guy, then I can only get up for these type of guys. You gotta know yourself. And Errol Spence knows him.
Spence's homecoming is met with enthusiasm and confidence, but worries are also mounting. Lonnie B doesn't want him to lose against Tim Tszyu and thinks this battle might not be the best choice. He contends that aging and the injury from previous fights eventually take their toll and the body is never the same, regardless of how fierce the competition is or how deadly Tim can be.
Like, it's good because Spence is a real fighter. He's not a punk. He's a real fighter. So it's just dangerous, man. I don't know how his body gonna respond to taking punches. You know what I'm saying? And with the car accident, I really think it's that car accident that. But you know, it's just personal for me. You know what I mean?
I got you. I
think Spence is a phenomenal fighter, but I don't want to see him even. I don't even want to even have the idea that he might lose to Tim Tszyu. You get what I'm saying? Like, this is Spence. This could possibly be a legend in the game. Like, I just don't want.
Well,
man.
they say Tim Tszyu's probably on his way out too. So maybe it's one of them things where like.
But I think
the fight is even because they're both. At a certain.
However, the hiring of a new trainer has also given Spence's return new hope. His new trainer, Ronnie Shields, talks about the changes he has witnessed and thinks Spence is now in the greatest possible shape. He warns that Spence is returning with the intention of startling everyone who doubts him and assures them that his fighter will be ready for anything that comes his way.
You know, his punches are fluid. You know, he's strong. And he's throwing the punches the way I think he should throw them. And, you know, defense is looking good. So everything is going great. And, hey, everybody that's thinking he don't have anything left, just wait.
Boxing icons AK and Barack address worries about Spence's protracted layoff by highlighting how well prepared he has been. They clarified that despite avoiding the spotlight, he continued to exercise and preserve his health, indicating that this comeback was always planned for them. When Spence eventually returns to the ring, his self-control may be crucial.
Even though he's not fighting a champion, Tim Tszyu ain't a tune-up.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? He's actually a very skillful fighter. He just has some losses now. Yeah. You know, losing to Fundora, getting stopped or whatever, that hurt him a lot. And so they're both kind of like in the same boat.
Right.
Even though Spence only has one loss, they're both in the same boat where they need a good name now to put him right back on top because they're right, especially Spence, you're right there. One good win.
I wouldn't disrespect Spence like that. I know you're not doing that, but they're not in the same boat. Errol Spence lost to arguably one of the greatest fighters of all time.
I understand
and that's his only loss.
And I think he can get a big fight no matter what.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tim Tszyu got to prove himself. But yeah, Errol Spence can have a big fight straight off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, he reigned at 147 for a very long time.
The idea that Tim Tszyu would come to the conclusion that Spence is just too much for him inside the ring is still gaining traction. Experts contend that it is incorrect to compare both fighters at the same level at this time, notwithstanding Tim's tenacity. Considered a legendary figure who dominated the 147 class for years, Spence's lone defeat came at the hands of one of boxing's greatest, making this bout a singular occasion that defined his career.
Mess will get cleared up. Again, Errol wouldn't care. I'm looking forward to Errol Spence coming back, and I think Tim Tszyu's a perfect fight. I'll say it right now, and you can take it to the bank. I'm just saying.
Take it to the
bank.
bank.
I think Errol Spence would be too much for Tim Tszyu. I think this break is going to serve Errol Spence well. I'm so keen on that. I just think that he needed this break, and we're going to see a great version of Errol Spence.
Renowned combatants such as Brian Norman Jr. working and training with Spence in the camp. The idea that he is coming back in a totally different guise has only intensified. Fans are excited to see this new Spence, and Norman assures them that they will all see something unique. He describes what he has observed in the gym and makes the audacious prediction that Spence might even deliver a knockout in the first round.
I see a different version of Errol Spence, and I feel like he's going to be better than he was in the past. And what I mean by that is, first round knockout coming soon. And Tim Tszyu is going to sleep, man. The boy ain't got nothing for him. What dude from Australia? My boy, he coming to Australia just to give him the work. You feel me? But back to what I was saying, I just feel like Errol Spence, he's going to be a great fighter, just doing the thing I seen him in camp, and hell of a fight.
As he issues a firm warning in his typical manner, Tim Bradley exhibits the same hostility. Bradley advises Tim Tszyu to use caution and maintain concentration before facing Spence. A fighter like Tim, in his opinion, doesn't even belong in the same debate as Spence. Not to mention being given the chance to go on a past champion of his caliber.
Earl gonna stop your ass, Tim Tszyu. Yeah, the battle of the veterans. That's it, man. Earl is a vet. He's a damn vet, man. He been through a lot too. He only got stopped one fight. I mean, as far as, in the ring, not a whole lot of traumatic experience besides that Crawford one, but he took the right appropriate time off. That car accident, that's a big thing. That alcohol definitely is a big thing, but other than that, I think he might be better off. I think he might be better off than Tim Tszyu right now. Tim Tszyu just he ain't clicking.
Teofimo Lopez then enters the conversation, stating that this is the kind of period he has always dreamed to witness, where dream matchups like Tim Tszyu against Spence come to pass. Since Spence has maintained outstanding physical condition during his sabbatical, he thinks ring rust won't be a significant problem. Lopez claims that all he needs before fight night is good sparring, and he anticipates that Spence will look fantastic when the opening bell rings.
I don't know, man. It's Al Heyman calling these guys to come back, man, because we needed something up in the sport. This is beautiful. And I'm very honored and grateful to be in the position I'm in while all this is happening. It's a dream come true. Errol Spence, Australia, Tim Tszyu. Heck yeah. I really want to see him win.
Do you think that ring rust is going to play a factor at all with Errol?
I don't think so. I think Errol Spence has been truly non-stop working out. He already looks like he's in shape now. And when you stay on that trajectory, when you're staying consistently on working out, it's only bound to happen with the sparrings and everything. He'll look great.
Andre Dirrell, however, issues a dire warning, speculating that this bout may end up being Spence's final one rather than the anticipated return. He contends that Tim Tszyu would become well known in his own right if he won. Dirrell thinks that once Spence begins to take hard shots, the punishment he received from Terence Crawford may return, making it impossible for him to fight with the same assurance and technique that once made him dominant.
That, again, I feel the punishment happening, could it be soon? Absolutely. And then, just like Roy, he might not see this in his head, but his brain remembers the kind of punishment he took, So when he get in there and he take them shots, whether he thinks he's ready for it or not, his brain, his screening might not be. You know what I'm saying? So all I can do is hope for the best, man. But, there's nothing special, in regards to his skill set. Like, again, he's just a kung fu fighter, and he's decent. And what he does is he's a decent boxer, but he is. This could be potentially dangerous. Again, it's 50-50, man. This could be Tim Tszyu's fight.
Speaking of Spence, Andre Dirrell feels that at this point in his career, retiring would be a better option than taking a chance on another fight. He contends that Spence has already accomplished more than enough to ensure his legacy and that losing again would only undermine the progress he has made over the years. Dirrell believes that returning to the ring would be far more detrimental than beneficial, even if he respects Spence's spirit of competition.
You know what I'm saying? Putting him back on the map, and this could be Errol Spence's comeback, put him back on the map. But a loss of both of these boys, even a close fight or the wrong fight, tell us what we need to know about Spence. It might be time for him to hang it up, man. He should have been comfortable with hanging it up right now. He didn't need a win, or he doesn't need a win to sell off into the sunset. You did it all. You know what I'm saying? I think I had a great career, and I'm nowhere near what this man did in his career. You know what I'm saying? So some fighters just got to learn how to come to terms with that, but you can only hope for the best.
The most important question as the bout approaches is whether Errol Spence can demonstrate that his time away from the ring hasn't diminished the traits that previously made him one of boxing's most formidable fighters. Tim Tszyu, on the other hand, believes that this could be the moment that defines his entire career. While one warrior is seeking atonement, the other is committed to achieving the greatest triumph of his life.
This is let's go. Let's minus the Crawford fight, guys. Let's go back before the Crawford fight. And we know the big fish. Anybody standing in front of him, so I think that Tim Tszyu possesses the perfect style. He's gonna be right there. You know what I'm saying? You know, he lacks a lot of defense. You know what I'm saying? On maneuvers, and I think that's where the downfall is gonna be at. Other than that, he's a very tough fighter. He comes forward. He has a lot of heart. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's great. But a style like a Errol Spence walk down, that's not gonna be. That's ooh. That's watch. That's what I say. No cap.
Will Errol Spence dispel any doubts and demonstrate that he is still a member of boxing's elite? Or will Tim Tszyu start a new chapter with the greatest victory of his career? Leave a comment below with your prediction. Please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and check back for more boxing updates if you liked this analysis.